You know security is hard, so let's assume we're probably gonna get pwned by noon. But if we all start to get the basics right, we might not fully get pwned until tonight. Oh my gosh, there we go. Paul, hey. Oh my gosh, everybody. It's our buddy Paul. We haven't been on one of these in like what do the kids say? A hot minute?
A hot minute.
Does anybody say that?
A year and a half, I think. I haven't been on. Yeah. Okay. It's been a long time.
That's too long, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but just to extend the welcome, you're always at any time. You know where to find me. Thursdays at 1 p.m. So please, pop in and let's say hi to you and see what's going on in your life. It's been a long time. Anything new in your security world or otherwise you want to share with?
Yeah. So now I'm over. I'm back to engineering. I switched over from IT manager. Now I'm back over into SCADA and supervisory control and data acquisition. And so now I'm since I've been out for so long, 10 years. So now I'm studying industrial control systems and kind of really being attracted to water facilities and water waste treatment and breaches. So now I'm just going back through and just learning about those, just how they were hacked. And right now I'm also Stuxnet. I don't know if you remember Stuxnet back in the day. But so reading Countdown to Zero Day. So that's a good book too. So yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, they should make a movie of that. But yeah.
The one thing I've heard from other pen testers is like, don't go into a SCADA network and mass scan the whole thing. I heard that.
Yeah.
That's one reason we haven't gotten into that. I'm too scared. Just as a tangent / teaser, Paul, I was up till 2:30 this morning doing the most fun internal tale of pen test pwnage ever. And I always say that anytime there's a tale of that. But I got nervous enough doing that on like a regular network that I'm too old and my heart is too fragile to, I think, worry about poking and prodding around an environment where like key control systems are, doing stuff, and that I might just make those go belly up.
Oh, for sure. And it is totally different. So those are some of the questions I have too, is like, how do you even do that, that kind of pen test or security check on an OT system like that? So maybe later on, some people in your Slack group, I'll have to hit them up and find out. I'm sure they have a lot of knowledge in there. So yeah.
Yep, I think we do. I think we do have some SCADA folks in there. Just also on a side note, let me bring up Tommy. We can get talking about hacking Tommy Boy relatively shortly here. But another thing from another mini heart attack moment I had, I just thought I'd share with our friends because I love talking about this stuff. But on a separate test. Earlier in the week, I had gotten to domain admin on an internal network pen test, and I wanted to, it's kind of writing up the report, and I sort of have this standard list of like, what do they call them, test cases that like, no matter what happens, during the test, whatever we chase to get to domain admin, there's still sort of like the standard things that we often find as mini wins, So it's almost like, okay, let me just go through, make sure all our test cases are closed. And one of them is to check all the domain controllers against this older vulnerability from, I want to say, like around November 2021. It's kind of nicknamed the NOPAC attack, NOPAC. And the short of it is for a short period of time before Microsoft like quickly patched it. If you had just a regular old AD account, as long as it was a working one, you could kind of like pretend for a moment you were a domain controller and get enough powers in the environment to, pretend to be a domain controller and fully compromise the environment with just a quick tool, just a couple of clickety clicks, and you're good to go. So it was a golden get out of pen test jail free card for a very small period of time, but I still always check for it. Yeah. So I've got a little script that just like enumerates all the domain controllers and then runs this NOPAC check. And interestingly, and I got to find out because I don't know, I can't remember which endpoint protection this client had, but that endpoint protection ended up putting me in some sort of penalty box where, it's like I ran this NOPAC check and I did it with CrackMap exec. And crack map exec is like, okay, hold on, and then just returns nothing. I was like, well, that's weird. Let me do the crack map exec command to just check my cred against one of these DCs. And it just returned nothing. Not like bad password or good password, just empty. And I was like, well, what the heck? And I tried a couple different creds I had. Nothing was, it wasn't telling me authenticating yes or authenticating no. So I started to get a skid mark in my shorts. So I flipped over to the Windows VM side of the house and then, tried to authenticate with crack map exec there. And then it worked fine. Everything were operated fine. I could RDP into the domain controller. But yeah, I think it was an IP-based block, and it must have just hit those DCs. And I guess they told their friends and are just like, don't let this IP like authenticate at all. But I could still Nmap scan those and like see that port 3389
from the same IP.
From the penalty boxed IP, yes, but I could do nothing authentication-y. And I sat there just kind of huffing into a paper bag for a few minutes because.
So why were you why were you nervous? You thought you took down something, or you just thought you were out?
Yeah, I thought they freaked out because I've had a bad experience in the past with doing the secrets dump against a domain controller, and all of a sudden, same sort of thing. You go to crack map exec like off to it, and it's like hold on, not responding kind of thing, and it's like, uh-oh, So I thought in my mind all the DCs were like rebooting, and I don't know. I mean, when you don't know, when you can't see, and it's 1 a.m. and you can't just like quick, ping the client. I think I'm kind of getting too old for this. So let's do something a little more fun. Yeah. Like something that that we can, let's pen test something where it doesn't matter. So I appreciate you joining, Paul, for what is part 3, maybe the final chapter of hacking Tommy Callahan. I've got it up. Yeah, everything's shared, right? So I got this shared on my screen here. And so for the last 2 weeks, our mutual buddy, Joe the Machine Skeen, and I have been working through this VM. This is something you can just get on VulnHub. And it was my first journey into like, let's see what it takes to, build an intentionally vulnerable machine. But I'm not super young anymore. So as we go through this, it's like there's these little flashes of like, oh, I think I remember that, or I think I remember designing that. But it really is kind of a enigma to me. So I don't unless you want to. I think I don't know if that I can even say in a short amount of time, here's what we learned about the VM and kind of here's where we're at. But the super short version, and let me know if you want to add to this. What we've discovered about this VM is this is a site or an app for Callahan Auto, named after, of course, Tommy Boy. Which really, if anybody's watching this and hasn't seen Tommy Boy, not to be rude, but you need to catch the pre-recorded version of this. You need to pause or just leave, not in a mean way, but you need to leave, go see that, and then come join Paul and I on the replay. But on a serious note, you don't need to have seen the movie to play this VM, right? There's lots of movie references in it, but it's all stuff you can find with, a little bit of Googling or, seeing the movie. But anyway, when we enumerated this box, we found there's a brake pad portal here that customers can no longer order from because it's down. And as we kind of poked around inside of this VM, we found that they had a WordPress blog. We read through the blog, we read through the comments, we found a password protected post, and basically Nick, the IT guy, has who was fired or left the organization. He left some of the creds we needed from Tommy Sr., who recently passed away. So like we've kind of been on this journey of like, how can we get creds to Big Tommy's accounts so we can remote into this box and restore the backup copy of the app and, get customers ordering their brake pads. Right. So I'm just going to flip over to my notepad. Kind of the last thing we did with our buddy Joe the Machine last week was we had recovered through, kind of a puzzle wrapped in an enigma. We had found good old Tommy Sr.'s plain text file of passwords. This very much mirrors something you might see on my mom and dad's desktop.
And this was the one that we used. What program did you use to crack that zip file?
Yeah. So we found a zip file with a hidden URL that we had to tamper with the user agent string to to retrieve. But yeah, we got the zip, and then it was F cracked zip, which yeah, I think it's one of the top Google results if you go searching for like brute force cracking of zip files.
Yeah,
Like
so that's one good thing I realized. When you go through these old VulnHubs, because this is 4 or 5 years old, but the tools that are out now, right? So that was the first time you used that one, I think, right? It sounded like it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that worked really well. I mean, it did look like it wasn't doing much, but yeah, obviously it worked. And I was gonna say, if you ran top, Linux command top to see what process, if that, while you're running it, if that was the processor was going up, or you know what I mean? Yeah, right there to see if something was, if that program was, what was it? F crack?
Yeah, F crack zip, I think, which wasn't
Zip, yeah, if it was doing anything,
Yeah, it wasn't built right into Kali, but if you just did, in fact, it's probably still in my history. We did like a sudo apt-get install fcrack zip, I think is all we had to do. Too many passwords. Okay. I already had it, but that's how you would get that. Kind of seemed like back in the day, Kali would have like literally every tool you would need, but kind of on a related note, I think it's a good idea if you are a pen tester, to, before you send your Dropbox out the door, at least I try to preload it with all the stuff that I need, because if this was in a customer environment right now and I went to install fcrack or something off of GitHub, sometimes the client's web filter and web logging will see a hit to Kali.org and then be like, oh, we saw you, game over, right? And it's like, it's kind of ends up being like this tangled, sort of nuanced thing where it's like, okay, don't take that as like your indicator of compromise, but also I don't want to insult myself and be like, a real attacker wouldn't go grab stuff off of Kali, you know what I mean? So it's like, you got to sit right in the middle of it and say, great that you would see something a bit more loud and obvious, but don't be like, aha, it's a bulletproof fortress in here, because all we got to do is wait for the attackers to pull down some tools from the internet. Probably not gonna do that. Yeah, okay, so in kind of reading through Tommy's password file, here's the sort of the important bits of information that we started looking at, was to actually get into the auto server itself via SSH. We've got a username, Big Tommy Senior. We've also got a password of fat guy in a little coat, but it says after the fat guy in a little coat part, there are some numbers, but I don't remember what they are. However, I wrote myself a draft on the company blog with that information. And that's what we had enumerated kind of in parts 1 and 2. We had found a hidden folder called Prehistoric Forest, which I assume you remember the significance of that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to have to let you go. Yeah. And we read through all this. And now what I believe this note is pointing us towards is, if he left himself a draft on the company blog, that means he's got to log in on the back end side of WordPress to that's where we'll find a draft, and that hopefully will be where we find these missing numbers. So I know in fact you were once upon a time, like we talked a lot about WordPress because maybe they've calmed down a little bit and hardened WordPress up a little bit, but boy, it seemed like there was a heyday of several years. Like they're getting owned left and right, and they have some weaknesses where you got a vulnerable plugin, you get popped immediately, that kind of stuff. So yeah, you've had a bit of experience, right, poking at those WordPress installs?
Yeah. So I started using WordPress, I don't know, a long time ago, and then used it for work and that kind of stuff. And so obviously I was up on the security, and that was one of my first presentations in front of a big group. Nice. Horrible title, but hacking WordPress, right? It's just that was a horrible title. But anyway, yeah. So but then there's a tool called WP Scan, which is really good to use. So I thought we could use that or test it out. Have you used that before?
Yeah.
WP Scan. And that's a good one to use.
And this one, I can't remember if I believe this comes, I think this comes right in Cali.
Yeah.
Also a good idea. This is just out of habit more than anything else. I want to say maybe, well, let me try to not update it, because I think when you set it against a site, I believe it does an update operation out of the box, but let's just see. Unless right away. Yay
Oh,
or
I
nay.
can't even remember.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So WP scan. How about I just run it with the basics? So I'll feed it a URL. So we found that this blog is tucked away in a subfolder. So just to kind of go, okay, let's just take a look here, and it's just going to say, yeah, doesn't seem to be running WordPress, and that's because right.
Just every 15 minutes, or
No, this is
that was the
I just,
FTP server.
yeah, I was just showing that, like, I'll see
Yeah.
testers who, just kind of forget that, oh yeah, the WordPress install is in a subfolder. So we do need to feed it the / prehistoric forest.
There we go. Yeah.
That's where WordPress actually is. So let's try that again with prehistoric forest. And I think out of the box, it looks like it. Well, let me just scroll up. That went pretty fast. So, okay, it looks like out of the box, it takes a look at headers, takes a look at this XML RPC. Oh, that's one. Excuse me. Well, maybe I can collaborate with you a little bit, and I don't know if you'd ever be willing to do an updated, hacking WordPress. But I know this is something that shows up. Some of my other team members point out this RPC. XML RPC being enabled can be kind of a weakness in of itself, but
now,
I don't.
Was that the ping back? Remember, everybody used to do that.
Yeah. Yes, and there's some. I think it's some of these modules here that can be used. This can be abused and maybe used as as maybe like a reflective denial of service. But I don't want to tangent myself too much. Okay, so there's a README. Let's see. It says that the WP cron appears to be enabled. All right.
That's probably, is that the no, go ahead.
I was just going to say it enumerates the version, finds the theme, and let's see, and then it enumerates all plugins. Didn't find anything, and that I don't know if that's what you ran into back in the day, but that's where I'd often find a client had installed some, I don't want to say crusty, but I mean, it's like some plugin that probably was designed by a well-meaning person, but was full of security vulnerabilities. And it would be like, go to this comment form, feed it some, code injection, and now you're able to upload web shells to the thing.
Yeah, or they just stop developing it, right? I mean, a project like that, you might only take it on for 2 or 3 years, and you just get burnt out and move on. So yeah, I could see that.
And I know at least a lot of our clients and stuff have moved to I think it's like WP Fence or something like that.
Oh, WP Fence is really good. Yeah, and also hosting it not on a regular server like DreamHost or GoDaddy, but going to WP Engine, right, where it's built for that, and then it's hardened.
Right, and then they kind of handle the backups. They handle, if you get owned, they can go, oh, let's restore last night's and harden it up or whatever, right? Like, I only know one company that is still like, they're doing their own thing on Bluehost or something like that. And I'm like, man, you gotta set aside some time of your day every day to make sure that thing is fully patched for WordPress. All the plugins are updated. So I don't.
Yeah, you still do, even if it's on WP Engine, but they have a lot of other security, which I don't know exactly the details of it, but it's definitely built for WordPress installs, and that's where I always recommend that.
Yeah, I would like to just kind of out of curiosity, since I've got that hosted vCenter now with a bunch of public IPs and stuff, I'd kind of like to just dangle this out there, as an isolated VM, just to see.
Yeah, and put WordFence on it, and then let's see what happens to it.
Oh, that too, yeah. That would be that would be fun.
Because you can see where you can see the logs and where everybody's coming from and what they're trying to do and the login attempts. So that'd be fun.
Yeah, I really want to like go to in the background. I'm kind of cooking up like a more blue focused series. Like several weeks ago, we did some honeypot stuff because I've got a customer who wants to just kind of out of curiosity put up like an SSH honeypot or a web honeypot, and just to kind of see what are people doing with it and what kind of cred are they feeding it? And does it look like just blind stuffing of word lists, or does it look intelligent? Like, username Paul, password project 7, like
Yeah.
it looks like, ooh, this is targeted. So I'm excited to kind of help them with that, because I'm like, yeah, that is like sort of the hobby sort of project that I would want to do on my own as well. Okay, so one thing, I guess there was a little bit more. Okay, so no, didn't configure an API, blah, blah, blah. So I remember from doing a lot of these just general out of the box scans is that you've got to, and I brought up the help on another page so I can help myself. But one thing it didn't do that I would often do as part of these WordPress security audits is this just didn't say anything here about trying to enumerate the users on the system.
Yeah.
It's got some intelligence to figure out based on author or guessing names or whatever. So I think, and you let me know if you know it off the top, but I think you have to
Probably -u or something like that.
Right. Yeah. I think it's let me just go back to here, because I think there's a tac E for enumerate. To get the full thing, you have to do like H. Yeah, here we go. And if we read through some of this, there you go, enumerate, and then there's whole bunch of options. Look for vulnerable plugins, all of them, popular, blah, blah, blah. You can really kind of go nuts. But there we go. There's a U plus user ID range. But I think, value if no arguments applied, 1 through 10. Okay. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give it that plus enumerate user. I'll just do the default, which I guess is looking for up to 10 authors. And if I remember, it still does, which is fine, but it still enumerates all the other stuff as well. So I would imagine this generates a lot of log noise for the, client, if in this case, if it was Tommy Industries or whatever they call them. But at the bottom, we do get some users. So we got Tommy. So this was found just as author posts. So I think Tommy, Richard, Tom are all people who are authors where there's like actual posts from them. I think that's how that's gleaning that. So there's Richard, and I think we got Big Tom, and then we got a Tom Jr. found by passive detection, and Big Tom and Michelle. Okay, so I think these are people who actually have posts. I'm not exactly sure. Excuse me.
Well, so sometimes, like if you click on it, their username, because in WordPress, you like the default, like when you first install WordPress, I think you can't change your initial name, but you can change the display name, something like that. So some of these might be like that. I don't know.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So, okay, let me just go back to the note here, because for Tommy Senior's SSH, his user is Big Tommy Senior. For the company blog, he thinks it might be Big Tom. And whenever I ask Nick what the password is, he starts singing that famous Queen song. Okay. So that is definitely a reference to Rock You, which is an incredibly
password list.
Which if you didn't know, right in Kali, when you just install it vanilla style, it's right in user share word lists. So
so also, can you expand on that a little bit? Just I don't know, can you open that, because I know there are some viewers in here that joined that might not even know about what Rock You is. Or just show them a text list or tell them about it.
I can do something like this. I'll just do more. This will give us like the first few lines of it. That's a good question. I don't, off the top, I don't remember the source of the Rock.
It came from a breach from I don't know how many years ago, but yeah, it was a breach. Actually, Darknet Diaries did a podcast on it. He had an episode on it called Rock You. So that's a cool historical one, since everybody uses this list all the time.
Okay, that's awesome. And I'm going to stick that in the group chat. Oh, holy cow. There's all sorts of chat stuff. Hey, everybody. Geez, you got some people looking for you. Jaden's looking for Paul and says, hey, go Paul.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I can't reply back. For some reason, Brian has restricted me. So last time I was crazy, I guess. I got banned.
We don't want Paul talking to
you. Yeah. Also, on the rocku.txt, you don't have to unzip it. You can just hit it when it's zipped. I've done that before too. So you know what I mean?
Oh, good point. I didn't know that. So I have when you just first install Kali, Yeah, Rock U shows up as a tar gzipped or whatever.
Yeah.
That you well, I always just one of the first things I do in a vanilla Cali, come here and uncompress it. But you're saying you can just run it in compressed format? It'll
Yeah, in a compressed format. Yeah.
Dude. Well, I wish I still had the original file so we could do that.
Think really quick though, thinking of it now though, so I wonder how it accesses it. I mean, does it unzip it anyway and put it in a temp file?
Oh,
You know?
maybe,
So
maybe,
yeah.
but still,
Anyway.
to me, that's like a cool guy thing that just a few people would appreciate. You know, you're at a after party, after work party sometime. And you're like, yeah, I don't know about you guys. I don't bother to.
Yeah. That's got to be a hit for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the ladies, I don't know
Yeah.
any, but I think some ladies definitely would be like, "Oh, are you serious? Like, I'm listening."
You got my attention.
You got my attention. Okay, so that the note definitely alludes to Rock U. So I think we should brute force. Okay, I think Tommy. Let me just look. I think Tommy is the. Okay, there's Big Tom. Oh, so there we go. That helps us put it together. Highlight over Big Tom at the bottom there. You see. Oh, maybe it's cut off for.
There you go. Yeah, move it over the top right more because there you go.
It cuts off for our.
Oh, no way.
Folks looking at that lower third. See, I don't know what I'm doing. So
can you make it a little bit smaller and then go up to the top right, because the sign you have from this restream is saying Hacking Tommy Boy, and it's over the when you hover over it.
Right. You know what I could do is, how about just for a second we just take off the thing. We just hide that for a second.
There you go.
Yeah, so I did highlight over Tom Jr. So his author name is Tommy.
Yeah, there we go.
But what was it? A little bit lower. There was a note from Big Tom, and I guess it's kind of cut off now. Let me open it anew. But his username as an author is just regular Tom, and that makes sense now that in his note he was like, I think my username is Big Tom. But in WordPress it's actually Tom. So I think that's who we need to brute force with the Rock U list. Yeah.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right, let's try that. And like I said, admittedly, I brought up some WP scan syntax in the next page so that we wouldn't have to, in case we got stuck. I just like to have kind of a lifeline.
And also, so a note on brute forcing, especially with WP scan, or probably any whatever you're going to use, Hydra or whatever. So if you're brute forcing, this is for the audience. When you're brute forcing, what I've noticed before is you have to, because you can put a timer on it, right? So it's like maybe 3 tries and then it waits, and then 3 tries, because you're gonna get locked out. Even if it's even if the server is just say like DreamHost or GoDaddy, HostGator, whatever it is, I think just WP Engine will lock you out. It just knows, and I think that's even without WordFence. I can't remember, but sometimes if you go too fast, it's just you'll get locked out.
Yeah.
Not locked out. It'll be unresponsive.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. I think, you know what, I honestly can't remember back to, this is a WordPress version from 2016. So it was probably in their day of like just getting pounded from a security standpoint, and they were probably upping their defenses at the time. I can't remember if behind the scenes I did lower any thresholds, but I know that this will be just wide open, just as fast as we can.
Yeah, local VM, for sure.
It should hold up okay. So, okay, so the reason I did this syntax was purely because I read the WP scan help and I had it up on another screen. But all I fed it is a parameter of usernames. So we figured out Tom Senior's WordPress name that he logs in with is Tom. And then in his password sheet, he had a reference to the Queen song. So we're going to shotgun Rock U at this site. So let's do enter and see if my syntax is happy. Okay, so it still enumerates that. It still enumerates the other stuff. And there.
Oh, that's perfect. That's great. People can see what's going on.
Yes.
Hey, now, while this is running, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I had, just in case this is a few minutes, I have a short video to show you, but you go first.
Oh, I was going to just give the people who are watching right now just a quiz. So in Hydra, there's a command you can put. It's tac NSR. Brian, do you remember what that is?
No such resource.
All right. Zoke, how about you, man? Give him a couple seconds. In Hydra, it's tac NSR, and why is that good?
Okay.
All right. So anyway, so yeah, there we go. So tac NSR and Hydra. So when you're brute forcing, it's great because if you do a tac NSR, that's null, same, and reverse, right? Because I had one where I was brute forcing, I don't know, an account, and it was like admin, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, or like Paul. And when I was using maybe WP scan, and it was just going through, but it took forever. But in Hydra, it just popped it really quick. And I couldn't figure that out. Then I understood it was NSR because it was the same, right? Where WP scan won't do the same right away, or whatever I was using. But Hydra, anyway, so that was an interesting thing. That's one of those nerd things too. Like, oh yeah, I like to pop that up as NSR Hydra, and then as you're putting your commands in there, do attack NSR. So null, same, and reverse. So that's another nerd thing.
I think that's great. That's such a good example of like real life application of tools where you find out, the hard way that it doesn't work in the movies where it's like, I just got to hack the mainframe, Paul, right? And they type 5 things and there's like, windows and stuff just sliding around. And then it's just like green access granted, it's why doesn't this work? Oh, because I didn't use the right flag. Cool. Like I only spent 2 hours with it not working. Sweet.
Another cool thing is that I learned from Simon, actually, my son, is we were doing a lab and we were trying to brute force something. And then he just spun up another VM and just started working on another part of the angle, right? Hitting it. Does that make sense?
Oh, sure.
So yeah, we're working on a VM. So even here, you could pop open another tab and then use Hydra or something else. You know what I mean? So it's just these different things you don't think about until you start collaborating with other people.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, why this is going? Because I don't really know how long this is going to take. Let me just. We don't have a commercial. We don't have a sponsor for today, Paul. But I did want to show you just something completely different. Just while we're waiting for this to crack, and that is my youngest son Atticus. He is at circus camp this week, and doing like stilts and juggling and trapeze and all that kind of stuff. So while this is cracking, I'm just going to bring this up real quick. Just to give you a little taste of what he's doing. He's doing the twirly whirly hoop thing.
Literally.
And that is the point where I throw up. I throw up.
Close your eyes.
Throw up.
Close your eyes. He's still moving his head.
Throw up.
Oh my god.
Throw up all over the kids. Yeah. So that is
as you get older, when you get older, the adults, we call that motion sickness camp.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Look at this. Oh, Paul, we win.
Tom won.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We win, Paul.
Yay. All right. Resource in the VM.
All right.
So Peter brought up a good thing here. Just a note to keep in mind of the resources on your VM to multiple brute forcing. So,
good call. Yeah. Oh, shoot. You know what I should have done is brought up top to do that. But you're right. Yeah. You get one brute force operation going, then open up another window, do another one. Probably a good idea to separate if you can, if you have different hardware, virtual hardware. But okay, very cool. Let's come over here. And okay, so for prehistoric forest, I'm going to hit this WP admin link because this is just based on reading about WordPress and playing with a lot of WordPress myself personally. I know that typically that is the admin URL. You can obfuscate that, I'm pretty sure, so that people can't see that. And
you can, but that's really tough to do. You have to go through a lot of files. I've tried to do that before to cover up a WordPress install, but that's tough.
All right. Tom, hold on. I got like
also there used to be, I haven't tried it for a while, but you used to be able to just find out if those credentials were even valid. You just type in like Tom and then hit enter, login, and then it'll say invalid credentials, something like that, right? So then you know those are legit.
Oh, let's see. Okay, password. Okay, what about if I do? Whoops. What if I do zippy? Oh, good. Yeah, good call. That's like a bad web security practice right there.
Yeah.
On a lot of pen test reports, you would see it's like, hey, make your login page like totally general so that so that it would say something like if you go to reset the password, whether you use a valid or invalid account or email, it should just say like, okay, if that was a valid account, you'll receive a password reset. If not, you won't, so that there's no way for us to enumerate. But yeah, you're right. We just figured out Zippy is invalid, but Tom is legit.
Yeah.
So Tom 1, I think.
1. Yep.
Come on, big money, no whammies. Yes.
Oh, that's good.
All right, Google.
Google just popped that up?
Google, yeah.
Oh, I use Brave, but that's pretty awesome.
I guess whatever. Google pretty much knows everything about us, right? But I'm not logged in with like a Google account. I didn't ask it to turn on any password stuff. So I sort of do and don't like this. I like this for my mom and dad. I don't like it for me. I'd rather opt into this before you're like snooping my passwords, but I suppose
that's actually Firefox and inside of a Kali VM, right?
This one, what am I on here? I think I'm on
Chrome. Oh, is it? Okay.
I have both open, but I am on Chrome. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That would be funny if I was in Firefox and Google's like, "Hey, buddy, that's a bad password.
Yeah.
Want to switch over to the light side?" And all right, awesome. So nope, don't want to do that. There we go. Oh, in the drafts, my SS.
SSH. Right? Maybe.
That's so dumb. And I wrote that. That's so dumb. But it's good, but it's dumb. Okay, here we go. Here's his draft. So Nick always yells at me for forgetting the second part of my SS8.
Oh, because he doesn't know I'm not understanding what it is. That's good.
I'm having flashbacks. I think I remember there was a job. I think a lot of this passive aggressive like snarkiness from Nick, the guy, and the. I don't want to say users are stupid. They're not, but let me say this. I've worked with a lot, as I'm sure many of our friends have who are listening, who they're just frustrating because they're just not. We don't speak the same language. They're not at the same technical level we are. So it's easy to get frustrated when we work with SSH and things all the time. And people don't. But yes, I can remember the guy who was like, came to me at the help desk and was like, I need to get, I think it's an SS8 password. And I was just like, what is that's a military code? Is that some Jack Bauer 24 stuff? When they're like, open up a socket on my server, like, what are we talking about? Anyway, okay, second part of his password is 1938 ! Okay, very cool. Nick, if you're reading this, I don't care if I'm using this thing as a password vault. You took away my stickies, so I'll put my passwords any dang place I want. All right.
That's good. Jeez. That was in 2016 even, and still passwords, are an issue. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So the note was the password is fat guy in a little coat plus 1938 ! Right? All right.
Yep.
And what was it again? It was Big Tommy Seniors. Okay, so Big Tommy Senior at the IP of the VM. Okay. Fat guy in a little coat. Was it 1938?
1938.
Exclamation. Oh yeah. It's Kool-Aid.
Yeah. So now what we just did for some of those who aren't sure what we exactly did. So now first we see the web pages, right? So now this just got into where the web pages are stored, where they're held. So now we're into the server side of it.
Yeah, right. Like if I in fact, let me just do this. This will only take this was I kind of skipped past a bunch of stuff that we covered in the first versions, but what we should see from just doing a port scan of Tommy Boy that the web interface was open, so that's where we found WordPress and all that sort of fun stuff. Then we also looked at port 8008. That had some stuff. That was like Nick Burns' hidden website with some of his own notes and insults and kind of puzzles. And then this management port SSH is what we were looking to find valid creds to, and we finally have. So I'll just do a list here. Ooh, look at this. Lovely. So we've got, there's our back file. Also, I didn't talk about it on this episode yet, but parts 1 and 2 with our buddy Joe the Machine is, let's see, do I have that notepad open? I should open it up. We were collecting flags along the way. As we kind of dug further and further into the VM, we got Bear Claws, we got Zelensky, we got Tiny Head, and now let's take a look. We've got El Flag Numero Cuatro, which I took high school Spanish, Paul, so I know that means the flag number 4. And you can do, if you don't do much with Linux and such, cat is your friend, because cat, if I do man cat, cat's great at just like listing out file, like just dumping out to terminal the contents of a file. Just be careful because you don't want a cat like a 13 gig file,
huge,
something like that. But I'm gonna be willing to.
A man cat looks funny, so that's you're just trying to bring up the manual for the cat command. So that's what that is.
Yeah. So you mentioned Hydra earlier.
Yeah.
No, Hydra. Man. Well, let's see. WP scan. No, that's gonna have its own help. But man, like ls. That's for listing contents, like I just did. There's a bunch of every tool in Linux, I think, has awesome additional stuff it can do if you're patient enough to read the README. But I just did a cat of that file, and it says, "Yay, flag 4 to 5, and you should now be able to restore Callahan web server to normal working status. The flag data is edit button." Okay, edit button. Let me go ahead and put that right there. We talked with our pal Joe too about we were talking about note taking during a pen test, and that it's pretty good to do. I feel like I'm fairly disciplined now, where on the fly, if this was a real pen test, I would actually take notes as I go, not do 4.5 days of just rampant pen testing, get to all the things, and then be like, now I got to write this up, and I can't even remember where I started. I've got 20 accounts, and I've got 15 machines that were interesting. So I'm trying to like demonstrate some healthy pen test habits here. Okay, so there's our. Let me just clear this again. Let me look at Callahan.back. Okay, so there is.
Oh, that's just the.
Yeah. Now don't criticize me, Paul. It's not like a full web app.
That's true. That's true. So I think you had the name of it. I think he called it Callahan.back or Callahan.back. There was a note in there somewhere that you had on one of the previous episodes that you were doing with Joe. And and I think you can, if you can, try it, right? Because we know it's probably in the root directory. So see if you can do a wget. We talked about that before, trying to get a wget.
Yeah. Okay, good call. So yes, that would be a good thing to look at, is just either on the root. So was it Callahan back? Is that what it is?
Yeah, but I think it would be more, you'd have to do the prehistoric and then, no, you're right. Maybe it is right there.
Well, no, this brings up a good question, right? Because it's like, there's our backup file, but the question you're getting to is, where do the web files live, right?
Yeah, so this, as a web server, won't display that back file, right? But can you do a wget on it?
Okay, so that's right. You and I had that conversation a little bit offline. So yes, so the problem we're running into here, you should be able to, if I was serving paul.exe in the web root, I could hit enter. Chrome would be smart enough to go, oh, do you want to download that exe? Or if it was a back file, it might say, I can either display it via text or I can offer it to download. So the problem we're running into is that the folder that we're in, if this was the web content folder, what we would see is we'd see this page, right? We'd see this like index.html or something here.
Oh, true.
But it's not here, which tells us, okay, there's, somewhere is the web
somewhere
content.
else. Yeah.
And I don't remember for this VM if there was a breadcrumb that I threw out to follow. I think I kind of left it up to the hacker to sort of figure out. But I don't know if here's where I know there are better in Linux. There are things like, I think you can go find And then stuff like this, like index.html. Maybe I'm wrong on that. That probably wasn't very good. Oh, however, okay, that's ugly. I believe the syntax, don't quote me on this, Paul, but I believe the syntax I just fed this was starting at the root of the file system, crawl everything, right? Crawl into all the folders and subfolders and tell me anything that matches index.html. So it also, and you can probably like squelch this with some command flags.
Yeah.
It told me everywhere that I couldn't look, but actually if you saw up here, I did, holy cow, it's so much permission denied. But there actually was some interesting, maybe it's at the very top. Yeah, I'm sure I can. Oh, here, look
on
at
that command. Can you grep it and then do a pipe grep index.html? Oh, what I see right there. Yeah. So there's the path, right?
But you're right. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
Awesome.
You could do all sorts of combining and filtering of things to filter out just
wow,
stuff.
there's a lot right there. Yeah.
But we found a few things. So earlier in parts 1 and 2, we found some of Nick's. This is like Nick's website that was on port 808 or 8008. So let's just note this for now. But this, and again, this maybe comes with just playing with website stuff a lot. But when you install like Apache on a Linux server, just out of the box, it typically will store web content here, var www HTML, and then whatever content you're serving up. So I'm gonna start there. I'm gonna go to var www.
Zoke just said it's Linux. There are 43 ways of doing it. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
It totally is.
I should have some people who really know what they're doing come and do like cool do a segment on like awk and grep and sed. Those are all commands to like
that would be great
through large
yeah
ponds of data and tweeze out just the stuff you want. Yeah. I certainly wouldn't consider myself an efficiency expert here. Whoops. Oh goodness. But let me see. So ls, and I don't know why there's all this. Let me see. I don't know why there's all this garbage in here. Oh, you know what? This might all this garbage in here may have been to throw off. There's an exercise we did in part 1 or 2 where there's a fuzzing exercise, and I think this was me being a jerk. I put in a match to a bunch of like garbage files to throw off the results. I was really not very nice. Let me do this. Let me do ls start at HTML. Okay, look, there's one file. Let me cat it. HTML. Oh, no, not /. Okay, there we go, Paul. There's the raw HTML for the page that is currently being served, right? Oh, wait, welcome to Callahan Auto. Oh, happy to. Oh, system status online. Oh, wait a minute.
So that's the one that's. That's
one. Yeah, that's weird because.
Oh.
Yeah, it's down. Wait a minute. Let me see here. In. Let's see. Start HTML. Okay, no. Well.
Or is that a PH? Is that the actual WordPress one that's being served?
That I think. Okay. Oh, hold on. Locate prehistoric forest. Our HTML. Oh, prehistoric forest. Okay, so that's where all that makes sense. There's our subfolder where all of our WordPress stuff lives. But what I was gonna do is let's see, copy. Well, let's see. Let me go back to home. Tommy. Oh no, big, right? Big Tommy Senior. Okay, that's where I found this stuff. So I was going to do I don't think he is I'm going to do copy Callahan back. Oh, you got to spell it right. Callahan.back to var www HTML. And I'm going to overwrite what's there. So I'm taking the backup.
Yeah.
Right. Overwriting it of the current.
Oh, I was going to say maybe do a backup of that HTML file before you
Oh,
overwrite it.
okay, great best
Yeah.
practices for a system admin, Paul. You
Yeah.
are exactly correct. That would be the good thing to do. Always back up before you overwrite something. Yeah. Okay, so now HTML. If we cat the index HTML. Okay, system status online. Let's go over here. Oh, look at
Hey,
that.
all right.
You guys,
Nice.
everybody, you can go now.
Good job,
You're
everyone.
over
Good job.
your break pad. Yes. Yeah, golf clap. That was amazing.
Hey, real
yeah.
quick though, let's see if I know we're running out of time here. Does this WordPress install, can it access the internet? Can you install a plugin? Because another time, again, it's always good to do collaboration when you're hacking and stuff. So again, Simon and I, we were doing, I can't remember, maybe Bulldog. It was another VulnHub VM, and so it was a WordPress site. We got in, then we had to get to the either FTP or SSH to get to the backend directory. And so he said, "Hey, let's see if there's a plugin that will allow us to get to the just hit the server directly." I'm like, wow, why would they do that? That's crazy. Who would make that plugin? Right? Because that's just stupid, right?
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, I'm starting to brute force or whatever, and then he's like, "Yep, they have a plugin," and then we were able to just browse a directory, And this is before. Now it's common for the hosting companies to have it to where you can just browse it through the web browser. But back, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, it was they didn't have that. But so there's another option. If you do get to this point, then you can do then you can go in there, install a WordPress plugin to get to the files there. So then you can look at the wp-php config file and get the database username and credentials, all the credentials in there. So that's another good file to get. Yeah.
Yeah, that so sort of on that note, I tell you my favorite part about getting a VM put together and put on VulnHub is if you go to, I don't think I have internet access turned on this one actually right now, but if you go to VulnHub, you search for Tommy Boy, or any of the VMs, you get the VM download link, but then below people submit their write-ups on their own blogs of how they went about attacking a system.
Yeah.
I love reading through that because that's where, we brute forced with or with Joe, we did some fuzzing with like Durbuster, and other people used GoBuster and WFuzz and what is it, FFUZ, I guess FFuzz. But I love and that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to do it live like this, is just talking through it, kind of understand like how you approach something like this, or it's like, ooh, that looks like a vulnerable thread. What different ways might I go about attacking this? But those write-ups are just a treat, and especially like people putting comments like, okay, this was super frustrating because the tool crashed, or like I said, I think I put in this folder, I think I put all these extra files with like garbage on them just to throw off some of the fuzzers. So what a jerk move. But yeah, and also there's so yeah, we are out of time, but we could at some point, if you want to revisit, let's see, remember I looked at okay.
So there are 4 flags. We're done?
There's edit button. Oh, okay, wait, but where's flag 5? I'll make it easy on you. It's in the root of this server at 5.txt. Okay. Yeah, we didn't get
that
flag
easy,
5 yet.
right?
It can't be, probably. It's not there. Or did they mean, wait a minute. Oh, here, let's do 5.txt. Oh, cripes. That's a bad idea. I can probably do like an exact, actually there's not that much. Oh, there we go. It's in the root and it's called dot 5.txt. So can I do just,
so I think this was
it is there
because I saw this in another Linux type challenge, and maybe it was just to open it. Like, so you can't cat it.
hold on. Okay, wait. We didn't, hold on. We did not see it. Oh, no, we do now see it. Oh, why is that? Oh, because I did ALT. Wait a minute. When we just did a regular ALT, I can't remember. ALS is maybe all files or something. Let me try
I do
that.
ALS. Yeah, just like yeah.
Oh, okay, A, whatever that stands for, must look for hidden files or something too. There it is. But it's owned by a different user. It's owned by WW Data, which is the user that I think by default has access to HTML content, maybe. Let's see. Index.
So
WW. Oh yeah, all this stuff is owned by WW Data.
does the account you're on now have admin privileges?
No, I think if I do like something with sudo, oh geez, fat guy in a little coat. What is it? 1938.
1938
So
exclamation exclamation.
Not in the sudoers file. I'd like to get that flag. I might have to phone a friend, Paul, and by that I mean I might have to look at one of the.
Well, we got 4 minutes. Hey, real quick. So when it says this incident will be reported, when it says this incident reported, have you done much Linux? I guess you wouldn't be doing that. That would be more incident response would see that kind of stuff, right?
Right. That specifically I haven't seen. I'm often doing like some credential spraying and stuff on SSH portals, but it's usually other things we're doing that's tripping up logs. But yeah, this would go to, I think there's like a auth.log or something like that, where if they're vacuuming that down with like a SIM, they could say, oh, you know, this IP and this user just tried to escalate. What's up with that? You know? Okay, let me see here. And there's, okay, the final flag is, there it is. I'm just trying to see where, oh goodness. So I'm just cheating. I'm looking at one of the,
so is it where the .5 confuses the path when you're trying to cat it, the / dot? Because there was a Linux like website, and it made you do a bunch of drills, and one of it was trying to see a file or open a folder that had a weird name on it like that.
Yeah, it's something annoying, that's for sure. Yeah, I can't like get, okay, yeah, 5.txt. So one, whoops. Yeah, permission denied. I'm not assuming.
Oh, you know what? Can you escape that? Escape. Is there a way to escape it or put it in quotes or something?
I mean, I think, let me just see. Like,
I guess it's saying permission denied, so you're hitting it, right? So
yeah, because if I do like and if I call it by the right name, I think, yeah, I think I don't think I need to escape it. Okay. I think I've got a permissions.
Yeah, it's saying permission denied. I think you're right. Yeah.
But I'm looking at okay, I'm just going to, oh geez, yeah, we are out of time. Okay, I might just see you super quick. I'm gonna copy directly out of what some other user did to get this part.
Who did it? Let's give that user some credit.
Yeah,
Who was
here, yeah. Let me put this in the. We'll just do. I'll put this. This is the walkthrough that I was looking at. So this guy, he said, let's look for writable files using the find command. So he did perm 222. I don't know any of this stuff offhand. I don't know how. It doesn't really. Okay, so he found writable files or folders. So he found this, which is part of Nick's crazy like private stash. So he said, watch carefully. We've got an upload directory. Now let's go to that directory and make a PHP one-liner shell. What? Okay.
Oh so this is russellmurad.medium.com. Russell Murad. Anyway, yeah. So that's a pretty awesome walkthrough there.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just speed around it. So he put a one-line shell that looks like this. PHP, is it underscore? Oh, geez, I can't tell. I gotta. I think it's just a space system, and it does get CMD. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Okay, and that works because we can write there. So then, Nick is lead. Patch Adams upload. Okay. Nick is lead. Okay. Of course, that was on like Nick's. Oh yeah, Nick is lead. That's here in his Patch Adams folder. Whoops. Oh, and then that's right. The other thing that I don't know is working right now with Joe. We found out we had to change the user agent string because it would only load content if you were. It's a oh yeah, there's the hint.
No way.
Only me and Steve Jobs can see this.
Oh, that's crazy. Wow, you did good on this one. This is pretty good.
I feel like it's a bit of a kitchen sink approach to building a VM. Like, let's just throw friggin' everything at
random stuff in there. That's good though.
Yeah, like okay, let's do like iPhone as the user agent string. Oh, wait a minute. Did that work? Yeah. Oh, that's iPhone. Patch Adams upload. Of course, I didn't see yet his. Whoops. Let me see here. Oh, I'm also not calling. Hello. I also didn't call the shell.php, did I? Oh, one second. Is that working? I can't tell. Oh, it seems to be. Maybe I don't have. Maybe I don't. It does seem to be
blank page. So maybe it worked, but we can't tell because it did its thing. Or
yeah.
I didn't even. What was the command again? I didn't even see the command. I wasn't paying attention.
It was it's so I okay, hold on. In his got it. Okay, yeah. You call the shell and then you have to call the command. So he did shell.php and then added the command that he wanted. So he did cat 5.txt. Oh, that didn't work. How come whoops. Oh goodness. Son of did this whoops, not that. See, I hate it's what am I looking for? Oh, I'm looking for developer tools, right? It's just like so much. Yeah, I don't know why that keeps. Okay, yeah, iPhone. Okay, let's try that. Oh yeah, Paul.
Oh wow.
Hey, 3 minutes over and we did it. Fifth flag, you did it. Oh, Richard, don't run away from your feelings. Flag data is butt crack. Okay, so now what you do is you take the flag data from each flag and blob it into one big chunk. So for example, if flag 1 was high and flag 2 was there and flag 3 was you would create this blob. Hi there, you. Do this for all flags sequentially, and this password will open up the loot.zip in Big Tom's folder, and you can call the box pwned. Okay, Paul.
Oh, nice.
Do you have a few more minutes, or should we just call it?
Oh yeah, no, let's go. Let's just finish it because you don't want to do an hour of this next time. All right, everybody.
Okay, so hey, everybody, if you got to go, God bless you. Thanks for coming. But Paul and I are, we're going to burn the afternoon oil and let's freaking do this thing. So the fifth flag was butt crack. Okay. And then now here's another thing I don't remember off the top of my head is when you're SSH'd in somewhere like this. Okay, there's that loot.zip. Can I just unzip?
Unzip and then it'll prompt it, right?
Oh, there we go. So there's we got it.
Nice.
We got it. Oh, dude, that's only going to take a minute. We got it. We got this thing. Okay, so it's what was it? All the passwords mashed together?
Yeah, strung together. Yeah. Just one line.
Okay, just one big thing. All right, so there's, far too much stuff.
Hey, anybody watching, has anybody done this? I mean, I know we all know Brian and he created this, but sometimes you just don't. Has anybody else gone through this? I have not. I know Simon says he hasn't.
So in the tiny head button, butt crack. Oh, come on. Okay. Tell you what, Paul, this is what I do.
Notepad, cut and paste.
Call this one thing. Yeah. The other thing I do, let me just see what this does while I'm doing this. 1 second. Let me see what this does. Oh. Well, while I try to get the password typed in right, you can see check out how things are going on my on screens. Okay. While I type in a password, because that's not interesting to watch. And you're right. If I do a third fail, I'm gonna just copy paste. Oh, I got it. Okay, cut the movie.
Nice.
Back in the booth. Cut the movie, please. Cut the movie. Okay, thank you. Look at this. It unzips to a file called the end. Let's cat the end. Oh yeah, dude.
Right on.
You saw, you pwned. Thanks to you, Tommy, and the crew at Callahan Auto will make $5.3 kajillion. Great work. Love to know that you finished this VM or get your suggestions on how to make the next one better. Shoot me an email with the subject line calls Here Comes the Meat Wagon. That's really fun when I have gotten some of those. Just because right away you're like, oh, they've been through some hopefully fun, but probably frustration. And look at this. This shows the date. I'm not on Freenode or IRC.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And then I've got a bit.ly link. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if this works anymore.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna try it on.
Click this bit.ly link.
Oh, it takes you to the Apple Podcast page. Okay, it's legit, but wow, this is old.
Nice. Hey, so when is the next one? You think you're gonna do? You should do another one if you get time, as they say. But that would be fun, and with some input from the Slack group.
Yeah. For sure. Well, okay, so selfishly, like, I mean, I did look at VulnHub. It doesn't look like they have a lot of new VMs much anymore.
Yeah.
But I did. Let's see, when was this? Oh gosh, this was the same year. I must have been a glutton for punishment. I did make a second one based on Billy Madison. So if you or Joe or any of our buddies want to
do it,
come and stop Eric from taking over Madison hotels, we could do that. But yeah, folks, let us know in the chat or otherwise. Oh, let me put some of this stuff here. There we go. I'm going to highlight. This must be somebody maybe.
Jaden. Yep.
Jaden. All right. Thank you, Jaden. Thanks everybody for coming and helping us along with our command line and all that stuff. But yeah, I love doing this. It's like stressful and kind of fun at the same time. And it's an excuse to see you. So I call that a 3 birds with
there we go
VM kind of thing.
Let's get Skeen on here again too, and then let's do Billy Madison. That'll be fun.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Well, thanks a lot, everybody. Oh, and then Tim, I'm gonna put up Tim's question. He said he noticed VulnHub was dated. So I think, Paul, let me know what do you think? It seems to me all the rumblings I'm hearing is all of the various online VM things. So the subscriptions to Hack the Box. What's the one by
is that Hack the Box? Is that the .eu one? There's another one that's a .eu.
Yeah. Oh, Try Hack Me.
Try Hack Me, I think it was. Yeah.
Yep.
And that might be because it's online, so you don't have to download it. And sometimes some of the VMs are hard to set up, right? Depending on your skill level, right? Yep. So some VMs, so that maybe that's why. But here's one. How about a plug for what do you have? You have some kind of pen test thing, right?
Oh, there we go. Sure. Yep. I'll just bring that up real quick. I'm going to throw this over here. Yeah. So we do, in fact, next week, we do a 3-day course, 3 half days where you don't have to set anything up. We give you RDP access right into a student VM that's joined to a real domain. And for 3 half days in a row, we just obliterate the place and get you to domain admin in various ways and show you lots of the stuff that we do on real. I mean, it's all exactly what we do on a real pen test. So we've had a lot of offenders and defenders come through, and yeah, it's a blast. So, excuse me. We got a class next week, which actually, well, I'll just mention it. There is a slot available. Somebody had to back out, but also in September we've got one coming up, so you could check that out. The other thing I was going to mention on kind of the where is it? Pentester Academy has got let's see, can I see their catalog for not very much money? And they tend to have a Black Friday offer too that's pretty attractive. It's like a year for unlimited labs, and it's like
Wow.
a ton of labs on everything. It'll be like 5 on just Poning Apache, 10 on just Nginx, and 6 on SQL, and 1 on MySQL. And I mean, it's like I loved having it. It was almost well, yeah, I've shared with you. I'm just like,
You interviewed this. You and Joe went through this one, right? Was this your Windows one?
they've got a couple ones. So they've got like their general, here we go. So like for $70 a month, or was it $250 a year?
Yeah, that's
You
really
get
good.
all access. Yeah, 2,000 labs, and they're cool. And it's all browser based. So you just open up the browser and it's like, here's your exercise. Take over this MySQL box. And then there's also, and then I think probably under boot camps, let me see. There's the certified red team professional that I took. Let me just look it up. CRTP pen test, probably fine. Let's see. Maybe it's under here. Altered security. That's one that's also this is the one that inspired our training. So it's the same kind of thing. You get remote access to a lab and you pwn it many different ways. I kind of took that and just made what I call it just a lighter version of that kind of starts more from you're just a regular limited user trying to elevate privileges and stuff. But I really loved it. It taught me a lot. It does a lot with like fun Kerberos ticket games, like getting golden ticket attacks and, very creative ways to abuse your domain admin privileges once you get them. And it concludes with a 24-hour exam that I spent 23 hours and 59 minutes doing. Nice. But I feel
yours is still really good though. Let's get back to yours real quick. So in case anybody's listening or watching still, what I liked about it, it was a small group. I think there was 4 of us. I don't know. It's just a smaller group. You're available. You're right there. So that's really nice. So it is a smaller group. So if you guys are thinking about taking this class, it's not like you just watch these videos and go through it, or you get rushed by. You have to rush for each lab. There's time to do each lab, and it's open. Is it open 24/7?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. And I just highlighted our buddy Tim took it, and Tim, thank you. Tim wrote a really nice recommendation too that I got to get up on this website. But yeah, you're right. It's 3 half days. But the nice part is, especially now that I moved over to a all you can eat lab where I pay one price per month and it just runs unlimited. Nice. A lot of times students will be like, hey, can I just stay in the lab? We go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they're like, can I stay, work on stuff through the weekend? And I'm like, absolutely. I'll just leave it open for you. You can trash the place, because now I can just basically press a heal button and reset it in seconds, so it's ready for the next course. So nice. I love being able to offer that, because depending on your background, it might be a lot to digest. Some people will be familiar with the fundamentals. Others, I've had like developers take this just because they thought it looked fun. But they've been like, man, I need to go back and redo some of those exercises.
For sure.
So I like being able to say, take your time. You want till next Monday or Tuesday to stay in there? It's no extra cost for us. So that I think would be an advantage to go through us. So yeah, thanks for the plug, Paul. Appreciate it. All right. I think we saw, we killed, we pwned the Tommy boy. That was awesome. And look forward to, we'll see what people say, but let's maybe attack Billy. And
sounds good.
See if we can save whatever it is. What's that company name? I should know. That's another required.
Oh, it was the grandma's house, right?
That's that's the golf one. That's the
that's Billy Madison.
Happy Gilmore. He's trying to save
Happy Gilmore. Oh, what was this one? Oh, this is Billy Madison.
Billy Madison, where he's got to repeat school and graduate because his dad
that's right.
to get good grades.
And he's got that sweet Camaro out there. Yeah.
Yes, if he graduates, he can take over Dad's company. So the villain in that is Eric Gordon, and so from the VM, I think Eric's trying to make Billy's life miserable. And I can't remember what the premise is actually. I really can't.
Yeah.
Because 2016 might as well be.
I know. I'll watch it. Hopefully, I'm not disappointed, because I'm sure it was good the first time.
It's. Well, these two are near and dear to my heart. They're not
right.
like Amy's favorite or anything like that, but pretty good.
All right.
Very cool, everybody. All right. Well,
awesome. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Brian.
You bet. Anytime. Remember, Paul, you're always welcome. no matter what we're doing or talking about.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great week.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
You've been watching or listening to 7 Minute Security, a weekly podcast focused on pen testing, blue teaming, and building a career in security. For more episodes like this, visit 7ms.us. And for information about our consulting services, visit 7minsec.com.